Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Security Guard Command. So this video is in response to Sean's video over at Security and Investigations Leadership channel. You guys should go check out his channel if you haven't already. And if you're not subscribed, I highly recommend you subscribe to his channel. He's got a ton of really great insight and a knowledge to share with the security community. So definitely check it out. So this video is about suspicious packages and what to do as private security. And I've got a story. So it was a few years back, I was guarding a commercial cannabis farm, and it was way out in the middle of nowhere. The roads were very rough, highly unmaintained roads. You couldn't see a neighbor in either direction you looked at. It was in the mountains, just very remote. And one day, it was late afternoon, and some workers showed up and came driving down the driveway toward my guard shack. And just to give a little insight, there is a gate near the road, and then there is a good 3/4 mile driveway into the property to a second gate. And the second gate is where my guard shack was at, where I was posted. And they come down and they park in front of my gate. They get out, they go to the back of their car, which was a hatchback, and pull out this box, which was actually a really old, beat up looking ice chest. And it had tape all over it. And they set it down on the ground. They come over to me and go, "Hey, we found this box on the ground right in front of the main gate at the road." And I looked at it. I looked back at them, and I go, "You serious?" And I walk over. I look at it, and it has a UPS type shipping label on it. But it's extremely beat up. It's extremely dirty. It's got tape all over it. It's taped shut. And I can't even tell if the UPS label is a real label, because none of the names that are on it actually belong to any of the names that we're aware of at this property that I'm guarding. And so I look at him, I go, "You got to be kidding me. Why would you bring this up here? Do you think?" And all of a sudden, the white showed up in this guy's face. The blood drained from his face, guys. He went looked like a ghost, because he realized exactly what it was that I was kind of insinuating. Because it's like, this is an unknown package. It looks very suspicious, and it doesn't look like something somebody would normally ship. And so I told him, "Get that out of here. Put it way over there by that other fence," which this fence was probably a good 200 feet from the guard shack. And I told everybody to stay away from it. And I started making phone calls. I called every person in charge that I could find on my roster to find out if they were expecting a package or if they knew who this person was that it was addressed to. I had taken a picture of it before they moved it, and nobody on my roster had any idea what this package was for, why it was there, or who the addressed was. So we were all pretty sketched out. Everybody was very nervous, freaking out. The owners started freaking out, and I was asking the owners, "Is there any reason anybody would want to harm anybody here at the site?" And they go, "Well, there are a few people that probably would want to do great harm to a number of people here." And so that further reinforced our fears and our anxiety over this package. I started calling some of the neighbors that have adjacent properties to this property, because sometimes apparently stuff does get addressed to neighbors. And all of the neighbors answered except for one. And there was this one guy who worked for a company that did chemical testing on an old retired gold mine. And he comes every single day. He checks the ponds, because a lot of cyanide was used at this site, or arsenic, I can't remember which, but there was a chemical, very toxic chemical that was used, and a lot of it leached into the ponds. And there's a lot of these ponds, plastic lined ponds, that have chemicals trapped in them. So he comes out every day. He tests the water. Once a week, he tests water, sends samples to a lab for third-party testing, and he sends them in an ice chest. Okay, guys? Turns out that this guy was the one who was receiving this ice chest. The package was legitimate. We had never, ever seen this package before because he always meets the UPS driver at the gate. He tracks it and he meets them there. But this particular day, he was unable to meet the driver. And so this package showed up. And this package contained empty, brand new test kits or test vials. And he was to refill them and send them back again. So this was a process that went on and on and on, but we had never ever seen this package because he was always present to collect this package. So it turned out to be absolutely nothing, but were we right in having the reaction that we had and taking the steps that we took regarding this package? Because if I hadn't gotten a hold and spoken to the actual recipient for this ice chest, my next step was going to be to call law enforcement. But at this site, law enforcement was always a last resort because it's similar to how a bar wants law enforcement involved in to be a last resort, because every time there's a police presence at a bar, it counts against that bar's liquor license. And this is the same situation with the cannabis farm. They want to minimize the amount of law enforcement involvement because it can count against them and hurt their business. And so the last step that I was going to take was to contact law enforcement about this package that showed up. And fortunately, we didn't have to do that. The package was isolated and far away from everybody. And it wasn't going to harm the general public because it was nowhere near general public. So last resort was to call police. Fortunately, we did not have to do this. The package turned out to be legitimate. So let me know what your guys, what your thoughts are. The actions that I took and the decisions that I made. What do you think? What would you have done differently? Leave your comments. I'll catch you later, guys. Have a great day.